So Asa continues to solidify herself as perhaps one of the best. If Denji wasn't in this manga, obviously that wouldn't make any sense because Chainsaw Man. But if he wasn't the best character, obviously Asa would be the best character of this entire manga. I love her so much, man. She's hilarious. She's got complexity to her. I don't know. This character is just absolutely written fantastic. And I got to give it up to Fujimoto for creating this character. Also, we were introduced to her, get this, 1 year ago tomorrow. I believe it was July 12th. I checked when I posted my video review of it. At the very least, the chapter might have come out the day before, I'm not sure, but basically what I'm saying is we have been in part 2 of Chainsaw Man for 1 full year at this point, and that seems kind of crazy. In some ways it feels longer, but then in other ways it kind of feels like it's right on track. So I don't know, happy anniversary to the return of Chainsaw Man. We were introduced to Asa very long time ago where she accidentally killed actually the best character in Chainsaw Man, Bucky. I still miss that fucking chicken. But she's come a long way since then, and I think going through an entire year of part 2, now we are finally getting into what I think is like the shifting point of the arc. I think we've built up everything, we've had our character interactions, we understand what we're dealing with to an extent. Obviously there's many twists and turns to come, but I think we've kind of reached the top of the roller coaster. We're going to get some more exposition, and then it's going to kind of like shoot down after that. So I think, just guesstimating, we're probably in the middle of Chainsaw Man Part 2 at this point. At least that's as far as my guessing is going to go. So this chapter is very exposition heavy, and there are some things in it that I'm confused about that maybe some of you guys can answer for me down below. But the first half of the chapter is this hilarious conversation between Asa and Yoru, because we haven't really seen them interact in a while because she's been kind of out of commission. They were fighting this worm creature with the falling devil. Well, not worm, but like it had tentacles. You know what I'm talking about. And then we've been focused on Denji the last few chapters, how they're trying to convince him not to turn into Chainsaw Man, how they're having the other Chainsaw Man come forward and make the people believe that that's actually him, and all of these things that are happening to sort of push Denji in a particular way, and for what ultimate purpose. There's a lot of ideas, a lot of theories out there, but essentially whether they're working together or not, both Famine and Yoshida basically want Denji to stay put, do not turn into Chainsaw Man, don't do anything, just chill. And the reason for that is sort of described in this chapter, but and how truthful it might be, who knows. But anyways, the beginning of the chapter is this conversation between Asa and Yoru, and it's absolutely hilarious because Asa, of course, now has a giant crush on Chainsaw Man because of what happened, and of course she's trying to deny it to herself, but then she goes into these thoughts and inner monologues of first having these flashbacks of like remembering her time with him, and then Yoru, of course, being connected to her mind, can see every single thing that she's thinking of, and she's like, stop it, stop having flashbacks. No flashbacks are allowed, which is hilarious because that's just a trope that happens in manga all the time, where you see a character and they show all the past imagery, of things that have happened in past panels and stuff like that, and they're back in, thinking about the complexity of it all and what does it all mean and how do I feel about this. Happens in every manga. So I love Yoru just like put a stop to it, and she's just like, no, we're not doing flashbacks today. That's not a thing. Don't do it. And then it goes even further, where Asa's coming up with this poetry about she's definitely like a teenager with a crush. You know what I mean? Like, it's written very well to the point where she tries to deny it. She doesn't want to admit it to herself, but then she's thinking about all the things that she likes about it. Obviously, she was in this very intense situation with this guy, and they sort of like grew this connection. Obviously, they both are, attached to devils in some way, in their own way. So, there's that similarity there. They've both been fighting other devils. So, the more connection that you have, the more similarities, it's going to be like that. And Yoru's just like, stop. Like, I gotta kill this thing, all right? You're not gonna have a crush on Chainsaw Man. This is stupid. And I love the conversation they have back and forth with that. Starts the chapter out with a lot of hilarity. And then about midway through, Famine just shows up. Just pops up out of nowhere. I love that she's immediately asking for food, goes to the fridge, leaves the door open, just doesn't care. Like, she's just all about food, man. That's the reason she doesn't want the apocalypse to happen, is because pizza would go away, and that's just not something that she's going to deal with. But then we get a little bit of a reveal of her plan, or at least an aspect of it. But a lot of this could also be bullshitting to Asa and Yoru in order to have them kind of placate and play along with what she wants to have happen, because she basically starts explaining that She doesn't want Chainsaw Man to actually do his thing because she wants him to become weakened within the minds of mankind. And I was talking about this in the last chapters because the less that he's there, the less that he's in the forefront, the less that people are thinking about him in the consciousness of mankind, brings down the power of the devil himself. Because in Chainsaw Man, all of these devils are created by the fears of mankind. So the more that it's in the consciousness, the more that it's feared, the more people are aware of it, the more powerful it can become, and the less that people think about it, or if it's taken away completely, as Chainsaw Man is, has the ability to kind of like swallow devils and take away their, the perception within humanity itself, it just goes away. But she tells both of them that there's a way that Asa can both help Chainsaw Man and Yoru can still kill Chainsaw Man at the same time. And how does this make sense? And this is the part that I might need a little bit of help in the explanations, because Famine mentions the red Chainsaw Man and the black Chainsaw Man. And I don't remember Chainsaw Man ever being referred to as this before. Now, I remember the Pochita form from the end of part 1, the huge buff, like armored, like super badass, hardcore, like, hell on earth Chainsaw Man from before. All right, and that is being referred to as the Black Chainsaw Man by Famine. I don't know, man. Whereas Denji's natural, regular, everyday Chainsaw Man form is known as the Red Chainsaw Man. Again, I don't remember there ever being like a color coordination explanation as to the differences here. I believe the difference is that the Black Chainsaw Man, like the more badass one, is basically like what Pochita is really, like the taking over completely. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a long time since I've read part 1. There's a lot of gaps in my memory. Like I remember the whole sequence happening, but like if there was more specifics given to it that explains it, like Famine's explaining it here, I don't remember that. So, but basically she's saying, if we can, I think that her intent is that she wants there to be that separation. So if you can get like the more powerful version to come out, Yoru can kill that version, and then Denji would be, just Denji. However, I don't think that would also work because, Pochita serves as Denji's heart, right? I'm remembering this. Am I remembering the lore correctly? So if Pochita serves as Denji's heart and they're separated and that Pochita version is killed, then Denji will also die. Like they need each other to survive at this point, right? That's how I remember it. Dude, this is the part that confused me. This is why I need you guys. So that's what I remember. So I think Famine is basically bullshitting. Like she's lying to them right now. She's lying to Asa more so, saying that she'll still be able to help the actual Chainsaw Man. So I think what she's trying to do is to get them on board with her plan, but she's just using that sort of casual manipulation in order to do so. It's like, well, how do I get Asa and Yoru to play along with what I'm trying to do? I'll just tell them what they want to hear. And that seems to be more likely the case of what's happening here. But it works, right? So it convinces them, and Asa joins the Church of Chainsaw Man, and now she's being known as somebody that's going around fighting devils to the public, which is strange. Again, that Asa would put herself in the limelight like that, but I guess, with her crush on Chainsaw Man being what it is, well, when you really like someone or something, you really kind of might put yourself in situations you wouldn't normally in order to help them or to do what you think is right for them. So I guess that makes sense. Until Denji hears the news on the TV and he's just like, Asa, what the fuck? And if I remember right, the date that they had, Denji is the only one that remembers it because Nayuta erased the memory of the date from Asa. So how much of Denji does Asa remember? So Asa, basically, we just got like a bunch of different fucking moving pieces here because Yoru wants to kill Chainsaw Man. And then Asa likes Chainsaw Man. Asa doesn't know that Chainsaw Man is Denji and might not even remember their interaction, but Denji definitely remembers Asa. Bro, dude. Anyway, my point is there's a lot of moving pieces on the board right now, and that's why I think we're kind of reaching the middle point of part 2, because we kind of have everything laid out. We kind of understand now what every character's objective is. We kind of understand what they all want to do. We kind of understand why they're all doing what they're doing. And we have the prelude to the apocalypse coming up. We have the reveal of the Death Devil that needs to come up still, but knowing that it is on its way. So I think that we are, ready to kind of like, ramp into the next portion of what part 2 is going to be. But anyways, guys, what did you think of this chapter? Did you think that Famine was telling the truth? Do you think that she's lying? And just correct me on the Black Chainsaw Man Pochita thing. I think I got it, but the terminology is new, right? Or is it not? I don't know. You guys let me know. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up and a comment because it will help it out in the algorithm. Also, if you want to support the channel on a deeper level, I do have a Patreon, channel memberships, merch store. Get yourself a Real Life Ryan shirt or whatever. There's some with just a skull on it. They look kind of cool. I don't know. Check that out down below in the description, as well as all the various social media links where you can follow me, Discord, Twitter, most active on there, and Instagram if you want to see pictures of my cat. But other than that, I'll talk to you guys next time.